While one driver has already been crowned world champion in ZRL, there's still many battles underway and crucial points up for grab in our season finale here in Division 1 ZRL. Welcome everybody to the ZRL Division 1 Saudi Arabian Grand Prix, a 3.83 mile long circuit with 27 turns, but don't let those many turns fool you. This is the fastest track of the circuit of the season with 3 DRS zones and top speeds reaching over 205 miles an hour. Tonight we've got a full qualifying showdown as our final race of the season. Every driver will be racing for their own driver standings, the Constructors Championship, but also crucial combined constructors that will determine next season's draft order. In the broadcast booth with you tonight to offer description on John Ranger and company, this time in replacement of Buffalo Trace, it is Arrow from France. Welcome to the Division 1 broadcast booth, Arrow.
Thank you. Hello, everyone.
Arrow, let's jump into right away. We're seeing Q1 is underway. Most drivers are on their banker laps using intermediates, saving us soft tires. So we've got plenty of time to discuss standings. What's going on at the standings with the final race going here in the season?
Well, we saw Hudson Paul already crowned 2 seasons in a row. The second time? No, is it? No, yeah, it's a second time. But the Constructors Championship is still going on. Of course, it's between Alfa Romeo and Red Bull, so Era and who's Era's teammate?
Aaron Marc-Olivier Bastet.
Is it Aurel Vost?
Vost is a... Yeah, Vost is the Marc-Olivier Bastet, actually, yeah. That's his full name.
Okay, sorry, I was wondering. So, every drivers in Red Bull and in Alfa Romeo are here today. So they'll be competing to know who's gonna win the D1 Constructor Championship. Not the hardest, yeah, the hardest to get. And Alfa Romeo is not a team you would expect to be in the top tier. So great job, great performance from them, both of them, and from everything else. Drivers in Alfa Romeo, of course. Everyone is doing great. Buffalo Trace, the team principal, he's still in D4, but he chose his drivers well, and now they are about to do their final race for Alfa Romeo for this season, and they are almost on their way to get a title. Unexpected. If you look at the beginning of their season, I would say.
Yeah, Alfa Romeo is having the season of their lives, and we were talking about it last weekend in Canada with Buffalo Trace, who's usually the broadcaster here. He's sick tonight, unfortunately, cannot make it. He may make it here for a short interview as team principal of Alfa Romeo because, he chose his drivers and he felt he had a really strong team and inspired confidence in those drivers, and so that allowed them to race freely, and now they're up there fighting for the top place in Division 1 Constructors, and that means a lot for Buffalo Trace and the drivers that he's chosen, and they really work really hard together. When we go down the grid, there's still Aston Martin, who's technically still up there. They're 20 points behind Red Bull, just a little under 20 points, or over 22 points to be exact, behind Red Bull in P3. So, on some crazy turn of events, which we've seen here and there in Jeddah, it's definitely possible. Aston Martin can possibly come away with P1 constructors as well. Unfortunately, we've seen a bit of a dip with Mercedes, who didn't have the best seasons, but Cody Lawrence is doing a great job of bringing those points back in, and maybe saving Mercedes from their draft order, which might come in 2 weeks. We'll have full details on that a little later, I should say. And so, yeah, it's a full qualifying. We've got 18 drivers, so which means positions 16, 17, and 18 will be eliminated from Q1 if by the end of qualifying. And there's still, 12 and a half minutes to go, a little bit over that. A lot of drivers are just coming back in now from their banker laps. Currently, it's Hudson Pool with a 132.0. On intermediates, so obviously they're multiple seconds off the pace currently. So honestly, not a lot to look at currently. But Arrow, if I must ask you, you've done Division 4 racing. You've also reserved in Division 3, if I remember correctly.
Yeah.
How would you prefer your setup for Jeddah? You're going for the lowest downforce possible to get the top speeds, or because of the Sector 1, which is maybe a bit more tricky, you're trying to go for a higher downforce setup?
Well, in Sector 1, I used no, I mean I used a really low downforce setup. The most of the time I'm using it. It was the setups we had in Mercedes at the beginning of the season in Brazil. My example is Brazil. Like I really was a lot faster than people on straights, not in corners but on straights, and it put me in a really good position. So from now on, I'm still with this idea of having a lot of top speed. And in this track, you would think it's a problem in Sector 1, but when I looked at my Sector 1 times compared to other drivers in D4, it was pretty fine. I was faster than people in Sector 1. My Sector 3 was a moment I lost time because I cannot really do the first corner of Sector 3 well, so I lost a lot of time here. But Sector 2, every sector is using the top speed, so having a high top speed isn't a low no sorry a high top speed isn't really a problem here, and it doesn't cost you a lot of time. It may cost you maybe 1/10 or two, but you get that back on the straight, so it's fine. It's fine.
Yeah, most definitely. And with such a technical first half of the track, having the top speed really gives you the advantage around the Sector 3, where we have the long DRS sector in between turns. I believe that is turns 23, 22, all the way to 27 until
Yeah.
the front start straight. And it's hard for other drivers to overtake in Sector 1. We've seen throughout the division some drivers trying to go side by side, and you just tend to run out of track, especially at turn 3 at some point. So it makes it really difficult. So that's where your low downforce setup makes more sense at that point. Now, another subject, as some drivers are coming out on their medium laps and some on soft, so we have to keep an eye on that. Where maybe the medium runners will have no choice but to use their soft tires. There's a lot of reserves. You can see it in their names. There's some names that looks like um, they kind of pop out a little bit. We've got a reserve and the Ferrari. Um, Thermo or Luke Locklear was supposed to reserve in the Ferrari. I don't know if he's gonna show up later. Um, Currently in the Ferrari, we have who is it? Is professional? Well, that's he calls Darth Vader. So he's a Ferrari driver. He's actually the replacement of Peter Giordano till the end of the season. We'll see where he ends up at the end of next season. And some other drivers we've already seen in the last race in Canada. Combined YouTuber, he's currently reserving in Williams. He's out right now on the intermediates on his in lap. Klinsman also reserving for Williams, and Magnus and Cube, who's done a phenomenal job in Division 2 with Ferrari normally, and he's reserving for McLaren now for Division 1. So he's out there in P6 with 1.331. And Eric McNerney, who's a usual Division 2 driver, but we've seen him replaced in McLaren most of the season in Division 1. A driver who's got a lot of experience in this league as well. So now we're starting to see actual times there. We're seeing people put in some times. And Cody Lawrence on mediums, he's got a 128.5 currently. So that is the time to beat on mediums. And that is rather fast, I would say, on those medium tires.
Yeah. He would have got pole in D4 with his time on medium if I wasn't there, but I was there.
Yeah, most definitely.
Yeah, really good time. I'm impressed, honestly. This driver he has always been quick, and now he shows his face. He's amazing at making setup strategies, at being fast. I don't know how you can be such good in everything, but he does, and I hope he's gonna be there and a full-time driver for next season. He could be a real opponent to Hudson Pool. I'm not saying he hadn't real opponents, but yeah, you know what I mean.
Yeah, definitely contender for championship. There's drivers here and there throughout the season who's really pushed Hudson Pool to his limits, but nobody does it quite as well as Cody Lawrence. And might I add, last season we had quite a showdown at the end of the season with not forgetting his name, with Dago, who
Yeah,
nearly fought him for the championship. Now I dream of a day when we're gonna have a three-way battle with Hudson Pool, Cody Lawrence, and Dago.
there you go. Yeah,
That would be amazing for Division One. Cody,
and me.
let us know last weekend during an interview that wasn't sure if he was gonna be a full-time driver again, but if Dago comes back and he sees a challenge, maybe it's not only to fight Hudson Pool, but maybe even Dago, and who knows which other kind of driver could join the league and or could improve themselves. We've seen Freddie Rizal as well win a race in Division One, who's improved a lot lately. Who knows if there's not like gonna be a new contender?
Yeah, of course. We want action. We want things to happen on track. We want tight battles in the championship. So that's what we all hope for. But maybe he won't have time. Maybe it's his choice. But he knows what we want. He knows what we all want.
Yeah, most definitely. Cody is the kind of driver who's facing a little bit of pressure to race next season. Speaking of pressure, now we were talking about constructors battle, right? So Marc-Olivier Bastien and Eric Carvalho, for them qualifying is going to be super important. It's also going to be super important for the likes of the Red Bull drivers, Hudson Pool and Duncan McCamick, who didn't have such a great race in Canada last weekend. And Duncan Pool can be the difference maker in the championship possibly if he's able to get a good race. And it's all about if he's had time or put time aside for himself to practice Saudi Arabia. Because if there's a driver out there that still has a lot of Division 1 pace, it's Duncan McCamick. But lately, not been as fast as he could, but he really does a lot for his team in Red Bull, whether it is broadcasting Division 2 or also stewarding, not stewarding, but, well, technically, yes, a little bit of stewarding when needed, but also engineering. So, busy man, does not put on puts time for others and before himself. And I'm wondering if he has done it for himself this week. And we're going to find that out sooner or later with a little bit under 5 minutes. We're at 4 minutes and a half. So now drivers have to put in their good laps. And we're looking at the times here. And there's very, very tight times. There's only, about a second? A second and a half separating the top 10 currently. And we've got four drivers, that have not put in a lap just yet. And so a lot could happen until then.
And Cody went out again. He doesn't feel safe with a 28.5, so he goes out again on soft. I don't think he should use a set of tires, honestly. But Cal, 128.0, amazing time. In Q1, not full grip, soft tires. I don't think he got a tow from his teammate, so really, really good time from Cal. He was D3 last season, and now I think he did, yeah, he won in Baku, didn't he?
Baku, I think, was Freddie Rizal. I don't remember if he's got a win this season. I do know he did get a win last season, actually, in Division 1. He had one of those perfect weekends where he won Division 3, 2, and 1 completely, and that secured his place as a Division 1 driver. Had himself a very respectable season, although he was looking to be getting top 5 in the standings currently. And if you go take a look at them real quickly, Cal Blevins is sitting P7 just behind Lewis Piper, which Lewis Piper is not racing tonight, so he's most probably gonna finish P6 in the standings. So maybe not exactly the goal he wanted to achieve. That he had set this up for himself, but P6 is very respectable and a very hard-fought battle in Division 1. You're going to see here, Division 1 guys tend to really have close races and close battles throughout the entire season, and it's really a game of tenths of seconds or hundreds of seconds between these guys. As we're seeing Kyle Blevins going into the pits, I don't think he's going to have enough time to come out. Aaron Altmaier has already retired from Q1 session, and so he thinks he's safe. And now we have Cody Lawrence in Sector 3. He's in the final DRS, going around turn 26, approaching the last turn. We'll see what kind of times he's going to get. Comes around the last bend, takes it very cleanly. Straight line, hugs the left line a little bit. And he's going to come across at a 127.9, and that puts him at the fastest time of Q1. A little bit over a tenth and a half above Kyle Blevins, and so that is a really good lap for him. Also shows how good of a lap Kyle Blevins just had as well.
Yeah, amazing. But yeah, Cal and Aaron didn't feel like they had to go out again. Hudson didn't as well. Marc-Olivier Bastier didn't. So yeah, he's the only one using a new set of tires. He's gonna let his teammate by. Amazing lap. I have nothing to say.
Yeah,
I
definitely.
think even with full capacity of grip, I wouldn't have made that time, and I know a lot of people wouldn't have made that time. So yeah, just amazing to watch and to see that he's still there. And imagine him in a full season. And I know Hudson Pool with a new set of soft tires, he could have done a time around Cody's time. So imagining the two of them fighting in a season, it would be amazing to watch and to follow.
Most definitely. Currently, on their final sectors, it looks like the sector 1 flag, there's a McLaren that looks like it's gone sideways a little bit. That's Eric McNerney. I don't know if he's going to have enough time to go full, to go around the lap again. And so he's not going to set a time in Q1. He's eliminated. Duncan McCamick, a 128.5, puts him P8 currently. And Cam Bourne, I think he's the next one across the line. Will he get himself out of the bottom? And he does. Look at a great lap for Cam Bourne. P5, 128.406. Just a one tiny hundredth in front of Marc-Olivier Bastien. Nicolas Pichet, which is also another one of our newer drivers who's got 2 weekends, well, I'll say 1 weekend under his belt currently. So he's got P4 in the Alpine. Combined YouTuber is on the end of his fast lap here. Let's keep an eye on him. He's currently in the danger zone. Kamari Mack will be eliminated from Q1. He's the reserve driver in Haas, who had a very respectable race, by the way, in Canada last weekend. And so Eric McNerney is eliminated. Kamari Mack is eliminated. Will combined YouTuber be able to pull himself out of that dead zone? And he does. He pulls the Ferrari of Darth Vader, and I'm going to get his full name in just a second here, into the elimination zone. So we've got our 3 drivers that are going to be out of Q1, and that is not the result Ferrari was hoping for. And unfortunately, that is it for Ferrari. And so combined YouTuber gets dropped down to P14 currently, but there's nobody else who's going to be bumping their times down. And so that is it for Q1. Whew. All right, well, we're going to be heading into Q2 in just a second here with 15 drivers to go. Positions 11 to 15 will be eliminated at that point. We're going to go on a short intermission here. We'll be right back when Q2 gets underway. And we are back. Q2, Cal Blevins already throwing his car out on the track. Once again on the medium tires. Looks like he's just going out maybe to get a feel for the track. Looks like Cody Lawrence, he's coming out also on medium tires. So we've got two drivers, the two fastest drivers in Q1 going out on mediums, who are going to be looking at to see if
Oh.
they will be able to save maybe a soft set of tires for Q3. Magnussen Cube is also going to try the same thing. And Magnussen Cube, who has set his car P5, by the way. Great result for the Division 2 driver.
I'm sorry, are you seeing them on medium tires?
Yeah, Cal Blevins is on mediums, Cody's on mediums, and Magnussen Cube, although he's in the pits,
Okay.
looks like he's on mediums as well, yeah.
I'm thinking everyone on soft, but Magnus and Cube, so...
Oh.
Oh.
Yeah, no, if we
That's not a
look on the TV pod of Cal, we'll definitely see the yellow
Yeah, I'm
stripes.
seeing soft. Yeah.
Interesting. Maybe a little visual glitch. Let's find out on whose part.
You must be right, because it would I think it makes sense to
Yeah.
go out on mediums now.
Well, for their pace, probably. Visual glitch or not, we'll be able to tell by their pace. Most definitely. And so we'll assume for now it is what is being broadcasted, what is being streamed, and that is mediums. And Cal Blevins will be the first driver on a fast lap. So we're going to go on board with him, since he's been putting up really fast times since Q1 already. Just hugging in that inside corner. We'll go a little bit over that curb. I don't know if that unstable this car a little bit. So he's going to go on that corner. There's not an overtaking corner, by the way. I've seen multiple drivers try to go side by side there in the race, and usually does not give a good result. And those curbs are a little bit treacherous on certain parts of the track, right? Because if you go on them, you're fine. But going beyond them, looks like your wheel takes a step down a little bit and completely destabilizes the car. And that's where you'll get somebody spinning and crashing and potentially into the walls. And it's not a lot of runway track to, given this is a city circuit. Keeping it clean through the second sector here, Cal Blevins. Now he's got the first DRS zone. Really fast left-hander here. Got to hug that curve as much as possible. Second DRS zone, and that is a long. I was about to say the long straight, but that is, turns 24 to 27 here. Comes around on the last corner. Hugs the inside wall, smooth on the throttle. Straight lines it down. The final DRS zone to the start-finish line. And he's got a 128.9 on medium tires. And we'll see what the other drivers are able to put up. Duncan McCamick on soft, he's going to put a 128.7. And so he's got the fastest time of Q2 for now. Doesn't last very long because Cody Lawrence, a 128.7 on the medium tires. So we're already seeing the times dwindle down a little bit. The track is being rubbered in. The temperatures are favorable for these drivers. It's going to go down even more during Q3.
Yeah, as I was watching it, there was an incident between Marc-Olivier Bastier and an Alpine. I believe it was... No, it was combined YouTubers.
If it wasn't Alpine, it was either Nicolas Pichot or Camborne.
Okay, I believe it was a... no, it wasn't an Alpine.
So was it Williams?
Combined YouTubers. Yeah, sorry. Okay. Yeah, it was blue.
There you go.
In turn 13. And they just... No, 23, sorry. Turn 23. And they just... It broke Marc-Olivier Bastier's wing, so he just used a set of soft for nothing. Yeah, pretty unlucky. Command YouTuber was on the racing line, so there was nothing he could do. He tried to avoid him, but yeah, it happened.
Unfortunately, an incident which got us off camera there between drivers around their outlaps. Eric Cavallo, meanwhile, hits a 128.0, so We're just about to see our 127s soon enough. I don't. Um, I reckon the fastest time should be around a 127.5, maybe a little bit lower than that. That would be my guess for now, given Division One times. There's a sector flag, but that is just because Eric Carvalho is slowing down to allow his fellow competitor to drive through, and that is Nicolas Piché currently on a fast lap on his soft, so he's just going around the bend here, coming around. Was it Nicolas Piché? No, it was Camp Bourne. Sorry, but Nicolas Piché is almost at the end of his lap, and he's got a 127.7. Oh, what a fast lap for him! 3/10 above Eric Carvalho. So that is an Alpine in P1, I'll say, in fastest lap of Q2 currently. And we still have 8 minutes to go, so the track's going to get even more rubbered in. We expect the times to drop down even more. So I was saying 127.5s earlier. But there might be a time we're going to hit at the end of Q2 and end of Q3. We might hit even the low 127s. Listen, I don't know if we're going to hit a 126 here. What do you think, Ariel?
I think 126. Oh, I was gonna say Paul would be 27.1 or 2. But if you might be right.
I would love to see a 126. I would. I
Yeah.
reckon there's one of these crazy drivers in Division One out there is completely able to hit a 126. I'm curious to see who, as we're seeing. We've seen Nicolas Piché already doing the fast times. Let's go find another driver who's maybe on his fast time, on his
Yeah,
fast
you're right.
lap.
There might be a 26.9.
Yeah, that's.
Maybe.
I think that's something we could see.
Yeah, I'm usually 1 second off Paul in D1, and my best was a 27.9. So there can be a 26.9. I believe it, but it has to be. Oh, I forgot about toes. Yeah, they can be in a 26 if Red Bull sets a toe or
Yeah.
a team. Maybe Aston Martin are having higher wings. If they can set a toe properly, they can try to have a pole position. Yeah, of course. If they set it up amazingly, they could have maybe 2 times. Nah.
Yeah,
Or maybe you don't.
it is possible, and we don't see toes very often in Division One. But on a qualifying lap, on this kind of situation, it might be something that we could see. I've seen backmarker drivers maybe on their on their in lap. You know, if you do a lap and you know you're about to get eliminated on your end lap, can slow down enough for the fast driver to come around and give him a tow on the sector 3 on the fast end of the track, and it could really help somebody gain a tenth or two there, which would be crucial because the times are very close one to another. But currently it's Hudson Poole with a 127.71, and Nicolas Piché is only 600ths behind him. And then there's a bit of a gap. There's 2/10 off. That's Aaron Allmeyer, and Aaron Allmeyer just kind of sneaked his way into P3 there. We know, he's got a very good racecraft. Sometimes qualifying doesn't go the way he wants, and he didn't have the best qualifying, nor the best race in Canada. So for him, it's more of a redemption race here tonight in Jeddah. And so far, he's got a 127.9, and so I reckon the drivers who are in the 127s are going to be safe for Q2. There's a couple drivers in the 129s. They've most definitely got to improve as much as they can, and we're already 5 minutes and a half down to the end of Q2, and most of these drivers are probably going to have to go into the pits, and they're going to patiently wait for their last fast lap as we go around.
What do you think will be the cutoff time to get into Q3?
To get into Q3, from what I'm looking there, I'm thinking a 128. Any driver, I think, starting from Maxime Beaulieu all the way down to P15, they're not safe.
Yeah.
These are all drivers that are capable of getting a 128.4 potentially. And so, or 128.5, 128.4, 128.5, I think is going to be close to the cutoff time.
Yeah, you're probably right.
Yeah, we're gonna see in a couple minutes, that's for sure. There's not other cars on track currently. Looking at Magnussen Cube, I believe he is going. Is he going for an end lap? Where he's just activated his.
A
Interesting.
little late,
Yeah,
I would say.
well, he won't be going. He's not gonna have time to go another fast lap, and so this is Magnussen Cubes. Gonna ride on board with him. This is his fast lap and his final fast lap, because by the time he finishes this lap and that he goes um, back into the pits, he's not gonna have time to go out again and take advantage of the best track conditions possible. And so here he is. Sorry, go ahead, Arrow.
He has time to complete another lap. Like if he invalidates this one, knows he can improve, he has time to stop and do another one. So it's fine.
It all depends on how much he has fuel, because if you go minimum fuel, you don't have enough time to do 2 laps. So that'll be one thing to look at, and also his battery life. Will it last a second lap going full stint? That's another thing we gotta examine for Magnussen Cube. And so far, he's coming towards the end of Sector 2. We're gonna see if he's improving on his time. He's about
And
6 tenths under currently, so he's looking at a 128.2 currently.
And he got Sector 2 purple, so nice.
Yeah, very, very clean lap so far as we're watching him here. He's gonna go around the last bend and turn 27. Hugs the inside again, smooth on the throttle. And here's the moment of truth for Magnussen Cube, and he's gonna hit a 128.2, 6 tenths and a half above his earlier time, and that puts him P5, a very respectable time.
Yeah.
And now, the way he's driving, he's just letting drivers go ahead, and so that'll be the best time he's got currently.
And Cody is starting a lap.
So let's go on board with Cody Lawrence. He's dropped down to P10, but that 128.7 time that he's got there was time made on medium tires. So let's ride on board him, see what he's going to give us on those soft tires.
He's almost 3 tenths off in Sector 1. Maybe could have gained more time.
Yeah, most definitely should have been more time. Eric Cavallo, Nicolas Piché, Hudson Poole, 3 drivers who are retired from the session. They're not going out for another lap. They're going to want to save their tires at this point. Around the fast left-hander here in the S's, Cody Lawrence goes. I didn't see how much time he was ahead of his earlier time.
4. It was 4. 4 tenths.
So 4 tenths. He's looking at 128.3 so far. Maybe not the fastest lap we've seen from him, but it's still got a bit of track to go. And here he comes, and we're gonna get a 127.9
Amazing.
from Cody Lawrence, and so he gets a really, really fast third sector at the very end there. And so he's not being part of that very late party there. Cody Lawrence and any drivers who's able to reach a 127.9 and lower are most definitely going to be across to Q3. And so, all right, let's find another driver. I think. Interesting. Aaron Allmeyer is also on a fast lap with a 127.9. He is not. He's not staying. He's actually going out for another fast lap. I don't know if he's using his scrubbed softs. Maybe just to try to improve his time. Oh, he has a little bit of wiggle room there.
So, no! I was watching Nova. Nova was really doing great. And he just went into the wall. Too much throttle, and some of us there, he tried to correct it, but went into the wall on the left.
Oh, and
Unlucky from him.
that is turn 17, right? Or that whole sector of 15, 16, 17, where going across 16, you have to be super gentle and careful on the throttle on the left-hander. And so Chase Wilson, P14, he will not be able to improve his lap. Puts himself in a safer position, not to be in the way of any other drivers, he's going to be eliminated from Q2. As is combined YouTuber who's not been able to improve his time, or if he has not improved it enough, he is at a 129.3. And now we've got a driver. Look who's in P10. It is Hector Ochoa, who's set a time but has not gone out and decided to retire in the pits. And now he just got bumped by Marc-Olivier Bastien, who just came across the line. And so he is going to be eliminated. He had a chance to go out and have a faster time, and he did not do so. And didn't take that chance. And that's going to bite him in the rear. That is an elimination for him. Colin Edwards also gets pushed down the that time. 128.272. Duncan McCamick also eliminated 128.7. And so those are your 5 drivers eliminated. Oh, Arrow, look at the time between Marc-Olivier Bastien and Colin Edwards. There's only 1/100th of a second separating Q3 from elimination. How close is that?
Yeah, yeah. I was watching Maxime Beaulieu. Maxime Beaulieu's lap was extremely close to the walls. He got sector 2 purple and he tried to get the toe from Nova in sector 3 but couldn't really get it. Might have lost some time. I think if he got that, not the final straight but the one before, he could have got a better time, maybe into the 27. But I believe he can get he can have a shot at getting pole in Q3.
Aston Martin are looking like they've got very similar pace between Arnaud Meyer and Maxime Beaulieu, which currently sits them P5 and P6. Let's run down the order real quick in 10 seconds. Hudson Poole, Nicolas Piché, Cal Blevins, Cody Lawrence, Arnaud Meyer, Maxime Beaulieu, Ara Calvallo, Magnussen Cube, Cam Bourne, and Marc-Olivier Bastien are your Q3 runners. 2 Aston Martins, 2 Alfa Romeos, the rest are all sole drivers. And so already this is a win for Alfa Romeo, who's got both drivers through in Q3, while Red Bull, Duncan McCamick, is going to start no closer up to the grid than P14 as it stands.
Yeah, nothing to say about his performance. I believe he just got unlucky about timings. He's a great driver. You might not like what he stands for, but he's the guy that makes us here. He's the main admin of the league. He created it. He was there from the beginning to now, and he's a great driver. I believe he should be fighting at the front. So really unlucky. Maybe he can try a different strategy in the race and try to enjoy a safety car, because we saw a lot of safety car and virtual safety car in other divisions.
Yeah.
Even if Div 1 is more cleaner, is cleaner, we can still, shit can happen, and tight trucks is really tight. Walls are closed, much closer than you can think. So anything can still happen, and he can have a good shot at overtaking everyone. I believe it.
Yeah, most definitely. And starting from the back of the grid, it could be tempting to try different kind of tire strategies. We're either looking at medium to hards or hards to mediums. I don't know about you, Aero, but given the circumstances, the kind of track, the low downforce, you do have some technical corners. And on the hards, man, this car is slippery, and you have to be really careful on the throttle and how you throw your car into corners, because anything that's out there, you could drive over a pebble, and it looks like the rear of the car is very unstable, and it all depends on how these drivers set up their cars in that respect. We could see, safety cars and virtual safety cars, as you were mentioning. That's indeed a good thing, and we'll see how the back of the grid adjust their strategies in regards to the front of the grid, as most of these drivers as well are very far apart from their teammates, uh, at the exception of Aston Martin and uh, Alfa Romeo. And I should also say Alpine, actually. Earlier, I missed out on Alpine. Nicolas Piquet, who had a great lap as well, currently on his fast lap. And so, very normal that he's got the purple sector 1 currently. Um, and so, him and Cam Bourne were able to put in fast laps out there. And we'll see what Nicolas Piquet could put on as a banker time currently. And he looks very tight, very close against the wall. Looks like he knows this track very, very well. He's got a really smooth line, and here he comes in the fast left-hander on the S's here. Turns 22, 23, 24. Looks very smooth, and he's on his the final line of the track, coming into turns 27. Oh, goes down to third gear compared to everybody else going down to fourth normally. Short steps it, and he is going to set a time of a 127.4.
The greatest lap we've ever got in this qualifying session for the moment.
And it's going to be even faster than that. Clearly, there's more grip out there on the track. Eric Cavallo's got a 128.0. This is the moment where we really separate the children from the men, right? Or the women, if we have women drivers, but currently in the top 10, there is no women drivers. But we'll really see where you've got to be really competitive. You've got to put yourself a qualifying lap within the 127s. And currently, we've got two drivers in the 128s, which by all means, it's very fast laps, but not fast enough. Marc-Henri Bassin, I think he's got a moment because a 128.7 is a little bit uncharacteristics of his speed. And Cody Lawrence puts himself P2 with a 127.5, so he's 1/10 behind Nicolas Piquet, and the rest of the three other drivers who've crossed the line are a little bit too far back to really have a significant impact currently. I'm pretty sure they're going to drop down the grid as drivers like the likes of Cal Blevins and Hudson Poole and Maxime Beaulieu, even Cam Bourne are probably going to push them further down the order.
Yeah, everyone is out. What would be your strategy in Q3? Do you want to do only 2 laps to save a set of tires, or because from what I'm seeing, everyone is trying to get 3 laps, but I don't think he's gonna have time to do it.
I could tell you by experience, as a racer in Division 3, it is not possible to do this 3 times in a row. You could only do 2 laps. So I had saved my tires to have 3 soft tires for Q3, and I had them. I wanted to use them, and I never had the time to use them. By the time you go around the track, the 3rd lap and get in the pits, it was not possible for me to go around the entire time.
You said as a D3 driver, but as a D1 driver, maybe.
If it was a matter of just a few seconds, I'd get it. For me, it was a matter of about 30 to 45 seconds. So,
okay,
let's and this is without cutting track or anything here. So let's see.
Yeah, of course.
Something we're seeing here, though.
Forbidden.
Real quick, Aaron Altmaier just gave a tow to Maxime Beaulieu to finish his lap time. So you called it, Arrow, that Maxime Beaulieu could be getting a tow and using that to his advantage. Oh, here he comes into the pits.
Oh, no.
Great tow right into the pits. And
amazing, guys. It's to get faster into the pits and then go out again.
Absolutely. And so a great tow to the pits, and now the drivers are both, you got to wait after each other. Especially, I think it was Aaron Altmaier was behind him, so he's got to wait behind his teammate now. So what a team player. Gives him the driver a tow, and now just waits there behind him. Stuck in the pits. So that is unfortunate. Both drivers seem to have invalidated their times. Aaron Altmaier and Maxime Beaulieu. There's 5 minutes to go, so it's either they come out right away, or they wait until the very end. And now there's only 10 drivers, so you could potentially do it. But
maybe they can put the... Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
Go ahead. Well, dude, I was just saying, it's either they wait now, but they only have one last chance to put in a lap in Q3.
Because I would say if they put one driver to go out now, the slowest one, to go and set a time, and when for his in lap he gives a tow to the other one. They can try to do it.
Well, we've seen them do it once before, so maybe we'll see them do it again. And now we have every single driver going into the pits. So we've got a little over 4 minutes to go into Q3.
There are
Beautiful
only
graphical glitches with F122, as Codemeister's intended, obviously. And now we wait. When are they gonna come out of the pits? And they're all gonna come out all at once, I believe. The fans in the stands are absolutely excited to watch the cars park in the garage.
They are clapping, but there is nobody on the track. But they are still clapping
Well,
for engineers.
you could get white people clapping for anything these days. All right, let's play a little game, Arrow. Which is the first driver who's coming out?
Cal is often the first, but it's for to set multiple times. So I would say it's one of the three teams. One of the three teams that has two driver. That have two drivers. So either an Alpine, Alfa Romeo, or Aston Martin.
Yeah,
I would say Aston Martin because they need to set a time.
I agree with you. I would personally go with
They
Aston Martin as well.
haven't.
Question
But
is
do you
who's gonna go out in front, and I think they're gonna judge maybe on the driver standings or whoever's got the most pace. And most of the time it's Max and Bowler who's got better pace, but sometimes Aaron's able to just get that crazy lap out there and really do a good time. And who's the first driver out? It is not an Aston Martin. It looks like it is Eric
It's
Cavallo.
Era, yeah.
He wants the clean air.
And maybe set it so no, he won't have time to.
He will not. Indeed, he's
No.
not gonna have enough time to set a toe. Kyle Blevins is the other driver out on the track in the AlphaTauri. Marc-Olivier Bastien, the other Alfa Romeo. There's a lot of Alphas there, so he's the next one on track, followed by Aaron Altmaier, and then
Aaron,
Cody Lawrence.
Cody, and then
Magnussen into McLaren.
the reserve,
Yeah,
the
great reserve driver currently in the McLaren.
the best one.
Hudson Poole and Nicolas Pichet, and we're gonna have Maxime Beaulieu. So Maxime Beaulieu is one of the last drivers. It looks like it's gonna be Cam Bourne who's gonna finish up our qualifying, and so he's gonna arrive at the start finish time just in time for his fast lap to go. Let's keep an eye on Eric Cavallo. He's currently on his out lap. He's going on the fast straight in the back here. Let's find out who is gonna be in pole position. And if you're in the chat on the YouTube channel currently, it is time to make your bets now. Eric Cavallo goes wide to get the most straight line speed as he can. And here he goes. Let's sit on the driver's seat, look at his lap, and see where he can go. Great lap by Eric Cavallo. So he's the first one across the line with a 127.608. Went a little bit wide out on the turn 27. The next one across the track is going to be Cal Blevins. Will Cal Blevins improve his time to 127.5? And he goes for a 127.4. So just 100th behind Nicolas Pichet. Marc-Olivier Bastien closes in P6, 127.9. So we're under the bar of 128. Cody Lawrence, another monstrous lap at 127.39. Looks like Aaron Allmeyer has given up on his lap, so he had invalidated it and has not put a lap. He's going to start P9 or maybe P10. Cam Bourne's coming across. It looks like Nicolas Pichet also going into the pit, so he's not improving on his time.
Yeah, Hudson Paul had a problem, and Magnussen as well. They didn't set a time.
And so that is going to be it. Pole position by just half a tenth. Cody Lawrence is going to start the race P1. He's going to start besides with him. He's going to have Nicolas Pichet and Alpine. An incredible time for him. Kyle Blevins was so close to getting P2, and the AlphaTauri is going to have P3. And that's your top three in the Saudi Arabian Grand Prix. And soon enough, we're going to be on track again for the actual race. Stay tuned, everybody.
Oh, I just got information that Hudson had a wheel disconnecting during his lap. Really unfortunate for the champion. No, Hudson!
That is absolutely unfortunate. He could have done, I'm sure that's what you're about to say, he could have done way better, but he is going to still be P4. Both Alfa Romeos, P5 and P6, and behind him, Cam Bourne and the Alpine, P7. Magnussen Cube, the reserve driver, in McLaren, P8. Aaron Allmeyer and Maxim Bowler, both Aston Martins, have not set a time in Q3, are going to start in the middle of the pack. And now we're going to see the beginning of this race and which driver is going to use which strategy.
I was going to say that Hudson could have gotten the 26th. That's what I was going to say. But imagine, like, Nicolas Pichet just lost the pole by half a tenth, I think. Just imagine if he got a little toe on his second lap. Well, on his lap that was done at the beginning. He could have got pole just by this. It wouldn't have made Cam Bourne do a bad lap. So, yeah, Alpine could have considered it, I think.
Yeah, most definitely. But both drivers wanted to have the best place on the grid. Final reminder, once again, for this season, the season finale is going to be underway in just a little under 10 seconds. There's no formation laps, and so these guys are going to be up and racing any second from now on. And here we go. The drivers are just about to be lined up on the grid. The lights are turning red. We've got 4 lights, 5 lights. And away we go. We didn't wait at all on this one. Already, we have got Hudson Poole with a drive-through penalty for a jump start. And he's all the way down. His wheel is not working at all. He's down in P18. He hasn't been able to fix his wheel. Cody Lawrence is in P1 currently. Cal Blevins is P2. Eric Cavallo had a great jump, great start on him. He's gained some positions as well. He's gained 2 positions. Nicolas Pichet lost 2 positions in the Alpine. Cam Bourne is right behind him in P5, so 2 positions gained for him. Magnussen Cube, currently P6. Hudson Poole is officially DNF'd, and is that going to trigger possibly a safety car? We're going to see that. So our reigning champion and Red Bull cannot race, and that will probably give the Constructors' Championship already to the Alfa Romeos. What an anticlimactic finish already. And so far we've had a great, clean beginning of the race. No incidents. Marc-Olivier Bastien had a moment or had an incident. He's dropped 7 positions. So far, our biggest winner currently is Chase Wilson, who's gained 5 positions.
Yeah, amazing start from him. There was no incident in turn 1, no incident in turn 2, Mm, just now we are seeing Duncan fighting with Echo's Verstappen, but he just got overtaken. And Colin Edwards is gonna take advantage of it going into the inside line. The Alfa Romeo as well. The Haas is gonna try to take what's happening.
So
Did
far,
he
it's
just? Maybe he had a moment and tried to. Oh, I don't know what happened. Just lost 3 positions. The 3 positions he gained at the start.
yeah.
Maybe
Duncan
he will.
McCamick lost it on the front, in the start finish line. He got overtaken by Marc-Olivier Bastien, Colin Edwards, and Hector Ochoa in the is currently P10 in the other Mercedes. And so, don't know if there was a moment, or maybe it's the car or setup, or the fact that he wasn't using battery or harvesting it. Another interesting to note: every single driver on the grid, except for Cam Bourne and Kamari Mack, P14 in the Haas currently, Cam Bourne P5 and the medium are on medium tires. Otherwise, everybody else is on hard tires. And so, while in other races we've seen a lot of mix-ups in between the hards and medium starters, very much majority of the grid is going to be going from hards to mediums. And so, curious to see how that's going to play out for them. And
Will
already
we
we're
see?
going to be starting lap 3, and Cody Lawrence is just on the cups of getting out of DRS on Cal Blevins, and so we'll see how Cal could potentially keep up uh, with him, uh, until the next DRS zone. He's still got all of Sector 1 and half of Sector 2 to go.
Yeah, he lost a lot of time on that straight. Maybe, yeah, Cal is using his battery to try to stay in the DRS. He's probably right to do it.
Most drivers already have used more than half of their batteries trying to keep up with the top runners, and that is what's going on currently. As we look down the grid, every driver is just looks like they've just slotted in behind the driver in front of
As
them. Oh, and there's something that's going on in the back. It looks like Kamari Mack had a moment in the Haas and has
he
lost
didn't.
control, and so he's dropped down the order, and that is an unfortunate spin to have on the medium tires. That's not what you want to have as a situation. I don't think his front toe wing was damaged. Did you see anything, Arrow?
No, I found no damage. Just a yellow flag. And for the moment, there is a train going on. So from P1 to P5 and from P6 to P2 Duncan. So it's P13. There is 3 groups, I would say. Drivers, Magnus and Cube holding the second group. Now he won't have DRS. Everyone behind him has Maxime Beaulieu and Aaron Altmaier. They want to. They didn't have a great qualifying. They want to get that back in the race. Maxime Beaulieu already 3 positions up, and Aaron 1.
Yeah, that's
I
going
don't
to be
know
a
if they
fourth
played.
position as he takes over Magnus and Cube on that start finish straight. I don't know if Aaron Allmeyer is going to have a look at him. He doesn't, and so now that both teammates are being separated by the McLaren. So great teamwork from the Aston Martins currently. Aaron Allmeyer gaining 3 positions. I mean, Maxime Beaulieu gaining 3 positions. Aaron Allmeyer has gained 2 so far. So a lot of mid pack battles. So as you mentioned, Ariel, there is a train forming from. It looked like it was from P1 to P5, but now when we look at it, it kind of cuts off at Kyle Blevins, and so he's gonna have DRS and Cody Lawrence. Ara's a little bit too far behind, although Nicolas Pichet and Cam Bourne are fighting, and there's gonna be a safety
Safety
car.
car.
Is that from debris? I did see. Oh yeah, so there it is. And it's
Yeah.
another sprint from Kamari Mack, 2 laps in a row, and he
No,
has no front wing whatsoever.
he didn't spin. He tapped a wall because he was still on high speed. So I believe he just tapped a wall. This sector 1 is really tricky to have it right and to be fast in it. You're really close to the walls, and some corners. There are some corners where you turn and you don't see the exit of corners. So really tricky, and maybe he doesn't like Jeddah. He has issues in this track, and we understand it. And we're just gonna say, go ahead, Pete, take a hard tire and overtake everyone when they're gonna pit.
So his redemption piece is the safety car, given the situation. So he's gonna be able to go in the pits and regain everybody, rejoin the whole train right up till the back of Eric McNerney. And so, given the situation, he could basically go again on fresh mediums if he's got an extra pair. Interestingly
And
enough, we've got the McLaren of Eric
McNerney,
McNerney also going into the pits. So is he going to the mediums? He is.
maybe a two-stop, two set of mediums. He might have a set of mediums left.
That could be something he's looking to do, unless he's trying to go the absolute long run, or maybe he's just telling himself, they're thinking there's going to be another safety car, potentially.
Well,
Given
he's right to do it,
Yep.
honestly, because if he still has a set of medium tires, he won't lose any position to doing so. So he just did it, and yeah, he had this advantage, could do it, and he took it. He took the chance. I don't think he can do the 20 laps on mediums, but having a medium set of tires is better for the rest of the race. And I
Yeah.
believe Combine and Darth Vader could have made this call. Not higher. Higher positions would have been a mistake, but D3 could do it. D3 could make this this this. Oh, I'm sorry. They could pit, and Eric McNerney was the smart one to do it. A great call from him. Not what you don't see it often. Someone pitting for mediums when the race is only 5 laps long. But yeah, he can have a great advantage of it. Maybe go back to almost P13 or 12 before pitting and having another set of mediums. So I want to say he can do a really nice finish and finish in beauty in McLaren. At McLaren, I mean.
Yeah, and McLaren does not have the season they really wanted to. Eric McNerney has been driving for them mainly as a reserve, and so he's been gaining some points for them. As we go around the final lap of the safety car, we should expect the safety car to go in. And Eric McNerney is, he's a long-time racer, right? He's been here for a while, so we're not surprised that he went into the pits and tries that alternate kind of strategy. He likes thinking outside of the box. He likes to be a bit of the black sheep at the most, and so he's gonna try a strategy who might turn out in his favor if there's another safety car.
Oh, true.
So that could definitely work out for him, and we'll see how that works out. And so currently, now here's the other thing: where is going to be the restart strategy that Cody Lawrence is going to take as we go around the long turn? That is turn 13. What a beautiful sight around the park there with those trees and everything. Oh, I had a little bit of a.
You know why McNerney is gonna be in top 10? It's because he's an artist and he creates chef-d'oeuvre for us. This strategy is his best piece, and now he's gonna show it to us and prove everyone that they should have box. I'm telling you.
Oh, well, I'll take your word to it. We'll watch what happens throughout the rest of the race. And so safety car message should show up. There it is. Safety car in the slot. Cody Lawrence giving it the final wiggles, putting as much heat as he can into those hard tires, and everybody behind him doing the same thing. And eventually we're going to have a moment where he's just going to take off, and I assume that's going to be just around the bend of turn 27 as he's approaching it slowly. Oh, and he goes super wide, takes it like it was a qualifying lap, and there he goes. Cody Lawrence restarts the race, gets a bit of a jump on Kyle, who had to use a little bit more ERS to catch up to him. And in the back, it looks like there's Eric Cavallo, who was potentially under attack by Nicolas Piché, who thought about it, and he goes a little bit through the chicane there and slides on the side. and loses a position to his teammate Cam Bourne. Just cuts off Maxime Bowler just in time to not lose a second position there. And so that is a position loss for sorry, not Maxime, but Nicolas Pichet, who his tires were probably a little bit too cold on that corner. Otherwise, there's not been a change of order since the restart. Looking at the back of the grid real quick, we have seen Kamari Mack, who's struggling to keep up a little bit with the driver in front of him. It's Eric McNerney, which is just normal as he's got fresh medium tires and he's going very large around the bend here, and he's going to put combined YouTuber under pressure. And now for the next 3 laps, because it was a full safety car, we don't have DRS again, and DRS is a really main contributor to overtaking on this track. And so these drivers are going to have to rely on their racecraft and maybe a little bit more on their batteries, on their ERS, to keep up with the driver in front of them in regards to DRS. And speaking of that, again, Cody and Kyle are kind of just taking it away from P1 and P2. Eric Cavallo's already fallen off of DRS, and he's looks like he hesitated on going off full on his battery. And again, he's going to be under attack. We're under pressure by the 2 Alpines. That's not going to happen on him again, but it is going to happen after the end of the next lap when DRS gets activated again, and he will have to defend against those blue and pink cars. Looking down the order, we got Maxime Bowler currently in P6, comfortably defending himself from Magnussen Cube, the other reserve driver in the McLaren, in the top 10 currently. He's been using a little bit more of his battery than others, I'm noticing. Aaron Altmaier is behind him, who's not used his battery whatsoever. And do we have another sector flag, and another safety car is coming out? And what is going on? Deja vu, Kamari Mack, no front wing, at the same corner. He either hit the wall or spun. And we've got to restart this whole sequence all over again. And now drivers are going to be considering for the pit stop once again.
Maybe Nicolas Pichet is gonna lose a position again. I hope it doesn't.
Very interesting turn of events in a Division 1 race. And, I mean, if Kamari Mack is going to be spinning at that corner and losing his wing, he gets lucky twice. We haven't seen the impact because he's in the back of the grid there, but he's not lost a wheel, and so he's very lucky to do so. And once again, he'll be able to pit in, repair his wing, and get back on the rest of the grid. But I'm thinking he's pushing his car a little bit too much now. Oh, and now there's some drivers going into the pits, and Cam Bourne gets a 5-second penalty for speeding in the pit lane. And now the order is going to be completely jumbled up, trying to keep up with everybody. Eric McNerney finds himself P10. That means everybody from Cam Bourne and under. So Cam Bourne, Maxime Bowler, Magnussen Cube, Chase Wilson, Colin Edwards, Nicolas Pichet, and obviously Kamari Mack have all switched to their alternate tires, which is all on mediums except for Cam Bourne, who is now on hards.
And now they consider pitting, and Cam Bourne and Maxime Bowler are gonna be the big winners here if their strategy works. Well, not Cam Bourne because he got the 5 seconds. But yeah, because I don't know if you can go to the end with 15 laps all mediums. Maybe you can go to the end, but you have very low grip and a high chance of spinning.
Yeah. The mediums will definitely carry you till the end, and obviously now we've got 15 laps to go. The safety car is going to go maybe another 2 laps, so it could be 14 laps. And again, are we going to have another safety car?
Because of whom? I'm wondering.
Well, it could be anything. Let's not broadcast curse purposely any drivers. We never purposely broadcast curse anybody. But if anybody's been on this booth, the second we talk about a driver, it just seems as the racing gods put so much pressure on them, and something happens, and we seem to curse somebody into crashing to the wall. So, and I'm pretty sure we've got Ryan Newton, team principal, letting us know Haas doesn't got the funding for this, and the YouTube chat, and so that's costing quite a lot in regards to uh, repairs, and now already the whole pack is bunched up. Had it been a little bit sooner, I think the safety car might have gone in, but we're gonna have the final lap of safety car before it goes in, and so
And it's doing good to everyone that pitted
yeah,
because it's one lap where you don't need to save your tires. It's automatical. No, sorry. Don't know if it's English the word I just said, but yeah, you don't have to push, so your tires are fine. They just need to hit them now, and it's gonna be great.
yeah, most
I
definitely.
wonder if guys ahead thought about it because I wonder what's going on in Cody's head. Is he like, okay, I'm fine, or okay, I'm fucked? I would like to know, but obviously we can't. He's on track.
It might be
Uh,
interesting. And it's it's been there's been different calls for different the engineers, right?
yeah,
Looking at the Aston Martins, Aaron Altmaier stayed out on the 9 lap hard mediums, on the 9 lap old hards,
yeah.
I should say. But his teammate Maxim Bollier is currently sitting P12 with the mediums, and so
Oh, did
there's gonna be something going around. And did we see a contact or a change between combined and Vader and the Ferrari? Something happened there, and I don't know if it's just desync as we're seeing the cars bounce around a little bit.
know what's happened?
No
I didn't
penalties
see
were
anything.
given for contact, at least. So maybe a driver who had a
Okay.
little bit of a moment there. And so back, let's go back into the cockpit view of Cody Lawrence. Or actually, we're gonna do a little different. Let's not do a repeat as we've already seen this before. Into
Yeah,
the
come
cockpit
on,
view
Karen.
of Kyle Blevins, who's currently sitting P2. And so he's doing the same wiggles, trying to get all the heat into the hard tires as possible. Safety car is just around turn 27, about to go into the pit lane. And here they are, bunched up. Cody Lawrence wide again. And he launches the race once again. Here we go. Beginning of lap 11. Cody is away and already at 6/10 ahead of Kyle Blevins with that monstrous start there. Kyle using his ERS to try to keep up with him as much as possible. In the back, Eric Cavallo, who was under pressure from Aaron Altmaier, who is now going side by side with Hector Ochoa, and that's going into a dangerous turn there. And he slots right behind the Mercedes safely, because if they had gone side by side, that was contact almost surely. And now Hector Ochoa, who started a little bit further back in the grid, actually quite further back in the grid, if I remember, yeah, he was P12 from what I've seen, and now here he is in P4. Obviously, there's the pit stops that play in here. We've got 10-lap old hard tires from P1 all the way to P9. Everybody else has got fresher tires. Unfortunately, that does not stop or prevent Duncan McCamick from getting a 3-second time penalty. So that's a bit of an unfortunate circumstance for him. But as he's fighting and following closely on the rear of Marc-Olivier Bastien, and also trying to defend from Darth Vader in the Ferrari, the sole Ferrari we have tonight. I think one of the major drivers, and we were seeing it come up, and it's the same scenarios happening once again. Eric Cavallo is out, or is very close to being out of DRS zone from Kyle and Cody in front of him, and so that's going to leave him completely vulnerable. Now, not to Alpines because they've pitted and
But
changed. There's a situation going on in the back of the pack. Maxime
fighting for
Bonier's lost a
P10,
bunch
yeah.
of positions, and yeah, the middle of the pack is. There it goes. We have Maxime Bollier, who's training his ERS, trying to get into there, and there's going to be a little bit of. Oh, he dives into the inside. Does he make contact with the McLaren? No, he doesn't, but he's side by side with Eric McNerney. And Maxime Bollier comes away with the position, and what an overtake on Eric McNerney. Masterful overtake from the Aston Martin driver. Eric McNerney is going to try to stick it with him, and he's under attack by Chase Wilson as well. And all these drivers are falling so closely to each other. In these kind of circumstances, anything could happen at this point. And there it is. And Nicolas Pichis also dropped a position to P17 behind the Haas of Kamari Mack with its third front wing now. great overtake by Maxime Beaulieu. There's a lot of battles happening here in the back. So, and there's another. I had to say it. I had to say it. There's another sector flag, and that is our third safety car in Division 1, thanks to none other than Kamari Mack in the Haas, who is distributing his front wings to his fans all over the track.
And now they're gonna pit. I believe every hard
It's gonna
runners are gonna pit.
absolutely. They're all gonna pit, and definitely they're gonna take it all the way till the end with those
Yeah.
medium tires. And so this entire race has gone to shambles. It's not about racing. It's not about racecraft or strategy. It's about spinning the lucky wheel of the Haas and figuring out when you're gonna have the safety car to be able to get the tire advantage on your other drivers.
And Cambourne is gonna be the one leading the race from now. He has a 5-second time penalty, but so Maxime Beaulieu is technically the leading. Can we say it? Can we say he's technically leading? And Camry Mac retired. Yeah.
Well, we'll see. Technically, obviously, Camborne would fall many positions with a 5-second penalty. An interesting news. Actually, two things just happened, and I don't know why it happened. I did not see that. Nicolas Pichet has DNF'd. He's in the Alpine. He's sitting in P17, and so that is a second weekend in a row where he retires his car in the pits, and I'm not quite sure why or what happened for him to do so. Doesn't look like there was contact because you see his AI drive out of the pits, and so he is down in P17. He's got DNF'd, and so has Kamari Mack, who's retired in the pits, and so we're down to 15 drivers only. And shall I say no more safety cars?
Yeah. Maybe. I don't know, because anything can happen. These guys are getting maybe a little nervous. They still Duncan can still win the constructor championship technically if some Alfa Romeo driver goes in and DNF. But if they don't, maybe no. I don't think Duncan is gonna try to make them DNF. I don't think he's the kind of guy to do so. But now it looks like the championship is over, and it's when it looks like the championship is over, then it's not over. It's never over.
Well, it's never over for certain of these drivers. If we pull up the driver standings again, you know, you got drivers like now this could be an interesting situation, right? Marc-Olivier Bastien, who's currently P2 in the drivers, his current position is P11. His closest rival in P3 is Maxime Beaulieu, who's just got a little over 20-something points behind him, and he's sitting in P2. And so the points difference and whoever gets the fastest lap between them could be something that goes into play. Same thing with Eric Cavallo and Aaron Altmaier, who are fighting for P4 and P5. And so, I mean, these drivers are going to be fighting for anything they got to grab onto. They've got to stay focused, especially in this kind of race. We're on our third safety car in a row, and I know these drivers just want to go and have a race. And now it's fallen to a 10-lap sprint race, basically. And I'm definitely sure that they're going to be pushing and wanting to make as many overtakes as possible, especially the guys that have just pit and have got fresh mediums going on. When you look at the constructors, Red Bull could potentially fall down to third to Aston Martin, and so they've got that goal ahead of them as well. And I think so far, if that happens, if the race were to end as it is, with Maxime Beaulieu and Aaron Altmaier being P2 and P9, I do believe they will be getting P2 from Red Bull. And there's plenty of fights like that. Alpine needs a good race to potentially go even further up on the grid to beat maybe, most probably Williams. As well, Mercedes are looking to have as many points as possible. They want to be P4 in front of Ferrari, and now they've got one Ferrari ending the season finale race, with Darth Vader being currently in P12. And so once again, The safety car is coming in this lap. We're going to go to our third place driver, and it is not Cody Lawrence and Kyle Blevins who are starting the race. It is going to be Cam Bourne in the Alpine, Maxime Beaulieu, two different tires, and we're going to go on the view of Chase Wilson to see how that goes out for them. The safety car is in the pit lane. We're at crawling speed. Cam Bourne's really taking his time here compared to Cody. And he's still winging it, and Chase was bumping a little bit Maxime Beaulieu there. Luckily, no further incident from there, but he's lost some time, and Cam Bourne waving a little bit, trying to break away the toe from Maxime Beaulieu behind him, and that's going to be important. Anything he can get to get away from the Aston Martin. His positions in the back being lost. Cody Lawrence has been making up positions left and right, and here he is, P5 already. And so he's gained position to Colin Edwards, yeah. Getting up closer to Magnus and Cube as well. We saw another driver change positions. I believe it was Eric Cavallo on Hector Coa, but I'm not quite sure. And so that middle pack is going to be fighting a lot.
No. Yes, No, it's Hector Ochoa won a position on Aaron Altmaier, I think.
Yes, Aaron was P9 earlier. You're right.
Era was already P8. Tout va bien.
And so far, Hector's having a really very good race so far, right? He has started P12 and at some point during the race found himself as high as P4, right? And now he's currently fighting for P8 of Eric Cavallo, whose Era has once again stuck himself behind Kyle Blevins and Cody. But Cody's actually, that works out for him, right? Cody's got Colin Edwards. That's going to help him gain some distance from Kyle Blevins, as Kyle was really working hard to get to him. And Cam Bourne is going to go side by side. Maxime Beaulieu, he's really got the inside line. Will he be able to make it stick? A little bit of tire rubbing, and there it goes. Cam Bourne keeps it really clean driving for both, but they go side by side going into turn 3, and who's going to take it from there? And it's going to be a clean overtake. Once again, Maxime Beaulieu takes the lead of the race. Cam Bourne falls to P2. Chase Wilson's going to try to take advantage of the situation here, gets closer to him. Masterful overtake and clean overtake by both Maxime Beaulieu, and a great racecraft from Cam Bourne to avoid contact in those situations. We know it's a tight track, and the drivers got to respect each other, and that's what we just saw here in Division 1.
Yeah, amazing driving from them. They took every space they could. It was really tight between them, but still they made each of them went out with no damage. So really great racecraft from them. Really clean driving. What we usually see in the Darrell Div 1, and Cody is taking P4 from Magnus and Cube on the outside of turn, I believe it's turn 20 or 19.
That was turn 22 actually, yeah. Got from the outside. Most definitely. Magnus and Cube is going to try to battle him again, but is going to have to defend himself. And there's also an AlphaTauri who's going to go a little bit on the side here. And that is Kyle Blevins, who's trying to do the overtake on the Williams, and he just doesn't get it just right yet. And he's trying to use his ERS, but Colin Edwards is really fighting him. Is this going to be a overtake through braking? He's got the inside line side by side with Colin. He's trying his best to get the best line, and he does. So he does get the position on Colin Edwards. Colin looks like he has a really fast car out there on the track to fight with the AlphaTauri. The AlphaTauri of Cal let him through, stuck on the ground for these corners there. And so that is another position gained. But now he's got to battle Magnus and Cube if he's got the hopes of catching up to Cody and trying to potentially make a move on him at that moment.
Yeah, maybe Chase Wilson can play a huge game in Carl's advantage. I mean, he's his teammate. He can maybe slow Cody down to help Kyle win this race, because for the moment we see that the both of them are a lot faster than the guy that with 8 laps with 8 laps old mediums. I don't know if he's gonna do it. He doesn't have pace to do it. Now he's just on the straight. Cody has DRS. He's gonna be behind him with the slipstream, not using ERS. And now they're gonna be behind. The both of them are behind Camborne, a lot faster than them. He's ahead. Cody got a fastest lap, but he still goes on the inside. No, he doesn't. Okay, he pulled out
He
of
looked at it. Yeah, he looked at the inside and pulled away. Meanwhile, Eric Cavallo and Colin Edwards were having quite a battle in the back as well, to trading positions, and it turns out it was Era that came out in front, as does Marc-Olivier Bastien. So Almar, since the restart, has lost 2 positions, this time to the rival of the Alfa Romeo. Maxime Beaulieu, ever since he's gone past Camborne, he's gaining a little bit of positions, or gaining some distance from Camborne, which is to be expected because the hard tires are not going to be as performant as the mediums, unless maybe we get the crossover point later on in the race, but there's only about 8 laps to go. And so Chase Wilson, he's currently in P3, and he's going to try to defend all he can against Cody Lawrence. But on the back straight, once Cody gets that advantage, it's not going to be so easy to do so. And Cal Blevins also got past Magnussen Cube. We just missed that there. And so Cal Blevins is going to try to catch up to Cody thanks to Chase Wilson. And there is somebody into the wall in the back, and that is Duncan McCamick in the Red Bull. Does he have damage? Doesn't look like he's got full damage on his front wing from what we can see here. And so he's got a Sector 2 flag, but no further action here in regards to virtual or safety cars, and he'll be back on the race. And that's unfortunate because that breaks the entire DRS train. He's going to have to do a lot of catching up now.
He was fighting with people. He was really close to people behind him and people ahead. I believe he just lost it because of the dirty air. He didn't tap the wall. At least I haven't seen. I was looking at this POV.
And now we've got a move. We missed it in the start-finish line. Well, we're just seeing it happening. Kyle Blevins overtakes his teammate Chase Wilson. So Chase loses a position to Cody Lawrence and lets his teammate go by. And now Kyle is going to hope that Camborne slows Cody Lawrence down just enough so he could keep up with him. And Cody right now is on a mission. He's got that pace. And he's got the fresher tires to do so. Now it's starting to appear. He's got 6-lap-old medium tires compared to Maxime Beaulieu's 10-lap-old mediums. Still got 6 laps to go. Or 7 laps, I should say. And so he's going to be all over the back of them. And let's see how much he could defend against Cody Lawrence, who's honestly on a complete other level of speed right now compared to the other drivers. But Cal Blevins also doing great work at keeping up behind him as much as possible. Also staying into the DRS. And his teammate Chase Wilson is going to probably have to play Sergio Perez to have the largest back as possible and keep Ero Carvalho away from him as much as possible, because Ero Carvalho is coming in quite hot. He's got a little bit more ERS and the fresher tires as well. And Cody Lawrence looks like he's coming up side by side to Camborne here, makes the overtake stick, and he's going to go also for a 2-for-1 special on Maxime Beaulieu. The blinking lights of Maxime Beaulieu. He doesn't have ERS anymore. He's going to take the safe route around the first chicane of turns 1 and 2 here. And that is Cody Lawrence, P2. And Camborne, I believe he's going to start struggling here for grip here on the hard tires. What do you think, Arrow?
Yeah, he's going to start to struggle, but guys around him as well. Because he's on hard, they are much faster than mediums on long runs. So I believe when Maxime Beaulieu is gonna start to struggle, maybe around lap 23 or the end of 24, he's gonna take advantage of it. But I mean, he's gonna be faster than them, but I don't think it's gonna make a difference as much as that. And as he just had a moment fighting with Nova Chase Wilson, I think.
We just saw Cal Blevins and so Camborne had a bit of a rear wiggle out of turn 13, and Cal Blevins tried to take advantage of that going into turns 15, 16, 17. And so both of the cars made a little bit of a contact, and they had to go right through the chicane. I'm surprised the game didn't give them any much of a harsher penalty for cutting the corner. Probably gave them a track limits warning over there. And so Cal Blevins is now fighting for for to stay to the back of Cody Lawrence, as Cody Lawrence is taking P1 away from Maxime Beaulieu. And so every time Kyle gets past the rival, he's got to get past another one. He can't stick to the rear of Cody Lawrence. And now Cody's got free air ahead of him to run away with it. His pace currently is far superior than anybody else's. Kyle Blevins' his closest rival. He's going to have to get by Maxime Beaulieu, who's not an easy client to get by. And now the time is running out. Thanks to the 3 safety cars we've had so far in this race, we don't have that much racing. We're already lap 21 of 25. 4 laps to go. And your potential podium will be Cody, Maxim, and Kyle. But let's not forget Eric Cavallo, who's also on the hunt. He's going to try to stay on the back of Kyle and maybe harvest a little bit of ERS. And Cam Bourne, well, we've seen him struggling a little bit. He's got the hard tires on. He's got the 5-second penalty that's going to harm his final position. But we've got to say it, he is definitely racing a very respectable race for Alpine right now.
Yeah, of course. Now Maxime Beaulieu is the one in the mud. He's followed by really good drivers. He will have DRS this lap, but for how many laps will he? And guys behind are much faster mediums, sorry, as Aaron Altmaier and Eco Stargradder are fighting at the back on the start, finish, and straight line. I'm sorry, struggling a bit with names. Who goes wide?
It looks like it was Bastien.
Yeah, sorry.
And now Marc-Henri Bastien gets a 5-second penalty for cutting the corner in the chicane. We caught a glimpse of it. Now, I might be reviewed as stewards. Was that from a contact from a car, or did he lose it? And we're really seeing that's surprising because these medium tires are only 9 laps old. Should have the grip for it. So I'm suspecting a contact that was maybe there. Most definitely. Look at this. Maxime Beaulieu 1.5 seconds away from Cody, and he's drained his battery completely, or almost. And now Kyle Blevins is going to have a chance to overtake him, possibly at the next straight. And we saw Hector and P8 have a switch with Magnus and Cube, and that middle group is really having a great battle. And Canada was having the same kind of situation where we had about 8 cars following each other in a DRS train, and there was a lot of overtaking being done. And Magnus and Cube is in the midst of all of that. I think once again, last weekend was the same kind of situation happening there. Keeping an eye on Kyle Blevins. He's going to make a move for P2. Here he comes, turn 27. Got the inside of Maxime Beaulieu. Will he have DRS as well? And no, he doesn't. So he doesn't have DRS. Maxime Beaulieu is going to get it from him. Is he going to be able to stick it to him back again on the turn 1? And it looks like he's going to go for the wide line. Kyle Blevins sticks on the inside. There's a bit of wheel-to-wheel contact. Maxime Beaulieu stays on the inside line. Is he going to have the better outspeed from that corner? No, he doesn't. So what he had made as a tremendous overtake earlier to, I believe it was Cam Bourne, he gets the same trick done to him, and Kyle Blevins sticks it, gets P2, and Maxime Beaulieu is now on the bottom step of the podium with Eric Cavallo with fresher medium tires, 2 laps to go. He's going to be wanting to go for him, and he wasted all his battery while fighting Kyle, and Era's going to try to take advantage of that situation.
Yeah, while you were talking, there was an amazing fight between people from P6 to P12, I believe. Everyone's trying to get the advantage over everyone, and there was a lot of desync. I don't know if it's me or it's for drivers as well. People going into other people but being ghosted. A bit of a mess going on. Now Hector Ochoa won't give DRS to Marc-Olivier Bastier. He's gonna be fighting alone against Colin Edwards. Colin Edwards with DRS. No, he doesn't. Yeah, I wanted him to dive it, but he doesn't. He's gonna have another shot at overtaking the Alfa Romeo, but maybe he doesn't have enough top speed. He does. He goes on the outside. No. But behind him, the Ferrari. I don't know if it's me just seeing desync everywhere.
Well, it looks like there's maybe a little bit of a wheel bump between the Ferrari driver and Chase Wilson, and so Chase was bumped to the side a little bit, and that kind of leaves him vulnerable. And Magnus and Cube was maybe looking to have a look at him over there, really putting pressure on him, and there he goes. Right, currently, I was looking also up front. There's battles between Maxime Beaulieu, Ero Cavallo, and even Cam Bourne's now looking into it and potentially gaining time on Ero Cavallo as we see it as is, and he's been harvesting his ERS as much as possible despite his time penalty. And speaking of penalties, as the race is coming to an end very soon, we've got Duncan McCamick again at the back of the grid. He has done. He will not finish higher up than P15. Cam Bourne with a 5-second penalty. Hector Ochoa and Marc-Olivier Bastien also have penalties, 3 seconds for Hector, 5 for Marc-Olivier. And so Cody Lawrence is going around turn 27. It is going to be the final lap for the season finale in Division 1 and all of ZRL for this season, as currently we will, we're going to have a draft coming up in 2 to 3 weeks' time, as the date is still to be confirmed. And there's still so much battle going on. And Eric Cavallo, who's side by side with Maxime Beaulieu, and this is for a podium position. Is he going to be able to make it stick? Right behind Cal, he does. Right in front of Maxime Beaulieu, and Maxime Beaulieu loses it. He is into the wall, and so is the Alpine of Cam Bourne. Drama in the final lap in the season finale of this season, in season 6. And oh, how they are tumbling down the grid. And that is heartbreaking for Aston Martin and Alpine. Aston Martin needed those precious points as much as possible for the constructors, and so did Alpine. And so I don't know if there's a contact that might be reviewed by stewards later on. And currently your podium sitters are Cody, Kyle, and Eric Cavallo. And Era is actually not that far behind of Kyle. He's definitely got a lot more pace currently probably from fighting everybody. He's just got that, or maybe it's the better tires. No, he's got the same tires as Kyle. And so he is pushing as hard as he can, 6/10 away from the Alpha Tauri. And so it is Alfa Romeo versus Alpha Tauri. Alpha and Alpha. Is there going to be a play to be made here? It looks like Ara's not going to be able to get through. There are some battles going on in behind. Cody Lawrence, a Mercedes extraordinaire, joined in the middle of the season after the Luke Locklear has left, and has got his 3rd win in a row to finish the season. Cody Lawrence, P1 at the season finale. Kyle Blevins finishes in P2. Eric Cavallo right behind him. He gave him a little bit of a heater for P3. Now we have the penalty of Marc-Olivier Bastien that might be looked at later on, but he drops down the grid to P9. Darth Vader, Ferrari coming out of nowhere, had quite a race at the end of the last stint after the 3rd safety car. He's going to finish P4 as a reserve driver. Colin Edwards also reserve in a Williams. What a spectacular performance for the Williams. P5. Hector Ochoa, who started P12, is gained 6 positions to finish P6. Aaron Altmaier in P7. Magnus and Cube, another reserve with a McLaren in the top 10 for the 2nd weekend in a row. That is P8 for him. Marc-Olivier Bastien P9. Chase Wilson P10 in the Alpha Tauri. Eric McNerney. Aaron, you were talking about his pace and his tire strategies. Well, safety cars kind of bunched it up for him, and so he's going to be P11. Combined YouTuber P12. Maxime Beaulieu, Cam Bourne, with that incident at the very last lap, has lost their many positions. That puts him P13 and P14, while Duncan McCamick gives us a little bit of a burnout just before going across the line, and there he goes. Celebrates the fact that Red Bull didn't give at all a fight for Alfa Romeo for the constructors. P15, and that is how we're going to end our season.
Yeah, heartbreaking race for Cam Bourne. Just 10 laps from the end, he was P1, and he ended up being P16, P14, I think. Heartbreaking for him. I don't know if it was a mistake from him, a mistake from Maxim, or maybe just the game being trash. I have no idea, but that's not the race you expect when you're leading. And of course, it's going to be looked at, as you said. But for the moment, it's Cody for the win, Cal P2, and Ira P3, Hira, and Marc-Olivier Bastien making Alfa Romeo win in D1 the first. I think it's the first constructor championship for Alfa this season and in D1 ever. I'm not here since the beginning, but I believe it's this. So Buffalo must be really happy right now.
Yeah, but definitely Buffalo Trace is absolutely to the moon right now with the performance of his drivers. Here are the final standings as it is. Unfortunate DNFs for Kamari Mack, Nicolas Pichet, and Hudson Poole with hardware issues. We are going to go into the interview phase of our stream with Cody Lawrence, Kyle Blevins, Eric Cavallo, and potentially Marc-Olivier Bastin
But
as constructor winners. We're going to take a quick
I
short
think
break as they set up in the waiting room, and we'll be with you in just a second.
it's in.
Hey, how's it going?
Hello, Kyle. I'm
Kyle,
gonna let
quite a performance for you, finishing P2 in this race. You were at the back of Cody Lawrence the entire race. You worked so hard to do those overtakes after the third safety car. Walk us through how you thought your thought process was through the race, and did you really believe you had a chance against Cody?
I don't know if I could have passed Cody, but I could have kept up with him in DRS and tow. So, kind of whenever that second safety car came out and we got pushed back a bunch of spots, I just really thought I needed to make the passes as fast as he does to try to keep up with him. But yeah, he got away on me there at the end, but also was trying not to crash.
Yeah, obviously you made a really great race. I was gonna ask you about this emotional roller coaster, because bringing in 3 safety cars, how did you feel when the second came out? Like, did you question yourself?
Yeah, I was like, man, this kind of sucks, but it's a hard track. Safety cars are kind of expected, but I just didn't know. I didn't think there'd be 3 of them. But, if there's no safety cars, I think Cody and I would have just ran off, though. So it produced some really fun racing in the end.
Were you not sad, but no, sad, not disappointed, but sad that you didn't have help from your teammate in qualifying? Do you think that with a bit of tow, because you were like only 1/10 of Cody for pole in qualifying, maybe with a bit of help, tow from your teammate, you could have got pole, or
Yeah,
would have been too hard?
I think with the tow, it definitely would have helped. I don't know how much it gains around here, but you get one on the back straight, I'm sure you could tighten it up some. So, I mean, there was some like micro mistakes I made. I could have tightened it up some too. But yeah, a tow would have been nice, but it's part of it. You can't have them all the time. So.
Okay, may I ask you one last question?
Mm-hmm.
Will we see you next season?
Yes.
Will you be fighting for the title?
Yes.
Okay.
Confident
Then
as always.
see you.
As last season, he's told us exactly that, wanting to be top 3 in the division. And I have a feeling over the next 2 weeks, as soon as the schedule comes out, Kyle, you're gonna be practicing those races, aren't you?
Yeah, I didn't practice for I think the past 5 races, and then I saw that this was the last one, right? And I practiced for it. And when I practice, I can, it makes a big difference. So.
Absolutely. Thank you for your time, Kyle. We'll see you next season.
Thanks.
All right, so we got our P2.
Yes.
Here
Hello,
it is.
Cody.
Cody
Hello.
Lawrence That makes it, correct me if I'm wrong, 3 wins in a row since you've came back um, with Mercedes in a dominant fashion this race. You didn't have your closest rival Hudson Pool race with you due to unfortunate hardware issues. But walk us through what was your thought process having 3 safety cars, always kind of breaking your rhythm there. Was that something that kind of was starting to get into your head, or were you calm and as cool as a cucumber in there?
Well, I only had 2 wins. I have to correct you. Sorry,
All right.
only 2 wins. But just I really wanted that to go green for a while. I wanted it to just stay green the whole time, and we were to run the strategy out. Actually, I'm almost regretting having stayed out on that second safety car. I think if I'd stayed out if I pitted under the second one and tried to go to the end, I think that was actually more of a winning move. I feel very lucky that I actually won that one, to be fair to you. But yeah, I mean, I just tried to make the best of it. There was a ton of teleporting, so it was just trying to walk through a minefield. It's nobody's internet in particular. It's just this game in a nutshell. Not Maxime's fault as the host. Not anyone's internet is at fault. It's just this game. But I mean, I'll take it. I kind of wanted it to stay green, but I tried to make the best of the position I was in, quite simply.
Okay, I don't think you know it, but Hudson Pool had a problem with
Yeah,
his wheel.
yeah,
Um,
I saw that at the start, and I was like, that is so damn unfortunate, because it was going
yeah,
to be a good fight between me and him. We were so close in practice. It would have been one hell of a fight to put on. So that's a damn shame.
yeah,
Honestly,
that's
I
what
was
I
hoping,
was gonna ask you.
Could have
I
expected
was hoping
Imola
he's
Part
going to
2.
be up there. Say again?
We could have expected Imola Part 2.
Yeah, that's a shame we didn't get to have that. That's unfortunate.
Yeah, but still you fought really well, passing everyone you could, and obviously that's why you're here now. Can we expect you to be a full-time driver next season, or is it too much to ask for?
I don't know yet, truthfully. If I am, I hope Hector's my teammate, because if I like I said, if I race, a good chance of it might be because of him, because he's a good friend of mine. He might be P4 when it's all said and done. I think he's got a penalty to remove, so I'm happy for him. He had a very good recovery from the position we were in.
Absolutely. I was just about to tell you that. He started, what, P12?
Well,
And at some
well,
point, he was as high up as P4. So don't remember exactly where he was in the grid at the very end, but if he does get his penalty removed, definitely that could be um, a great situation for him. So,
Yeah.
Mercedes, ever since Locklear has left, and you and Hector have been in, you've been racking up a lot of points for your team. And I do believe, if I go look into my to the Division 1 points, I do believe you guys have overtaken Ferrari. Maybe you've overtaken Ferrari with that win and his points. You might have taken Ferrari for P4 in the championship in Division 1.
Not too bad. Not too bad for parachuting in now, eh? But good job to him. I'm a little biased in saying he'd be my driver of the day, but you might have some good candidates out there for that one tonight. But actually, if I might change the subject, sorry, for 1 second. I was actually ecstatic with pole there tonight. I didn't think that was going to do it. I didn't think I was going to be the man sitting on pole today, but I was actually really happy to steal that at the end.
I mean, did you think Cal Blevins would have maybe stole it from you? Because when he went around right after you, he was
he was on a good lap. Yeah.
He was half a tenth behind you. And I mean, we asked him the question earlier. I asked him, had he done a pole with his teammate, that would have been it for him. That would have been pole position.
Yeah, I was actually looking at the sector splits as well. He was a tenth and a half up sector 1 on my pole lap. So he was on a very solid lap. I had to make everything in 2 and 3. I kind of made it a little harder for myself, I'll admit, but no fault of my own, really. It's just my fault in the end. It is my fault in the end, but yeah, I mean, I'll take it. It's a little bittersweet. We'd like to have Hudson up there to fight because, like I said, it would have been a good show. 100% would have been. That's a shame.
Most definitely. Well, thank you again for your time. Very generous and your time in the broadcast and your comments, Cody. We hope to see you next season, whether it be a racer or a reserve or whatever you choose to be. We'll let the suspense be as it is for the next 2 weeks until the draft.
Yeah, we'll see what happens. Congrats to Alfa Romeo constructors. I just saw that here, so congrats to them. Well done. But I'm gonna jump out here. So you guys have a good night. Thank you for having me. Thanks for the
Thank you,
conversation.
Cody.
Appreciate it. Yep. Bye bye.
Class act as always. Iro, I will let you do the honors. Let's bring in team principal Buffalo Trace for Alfa Romeo, Eric Cavallo, and Marc-Olivier Bastin.
And hello,
Here
everyone.
they are. We've got the triple crown of Alfa Romeo's Division 1 Constructors Championship. Congratulations, guys. What a season in Division 1. Absolutely spectacular.
It was
Yeah,
awesome. They
so-
killed it.
Yeah, okay, Buffalo, you first.
No, I was gonna say it's all you guys. You guys killed it. I was thinking, John, before I hopped on, this is probably the most stacked driver lineup that one team has had in a division in the past few seasons. So it was really cool to watch. Lucky to have them on board.
Yeah, absolutely. And I mean, Buffalo's, I spent the entire season broadcasting with you, right? And at the beginning of the season, we knew it was a strong lineup, right? And now these guys just proved themselves. And I got to commend them on a great teamwork as well from Era and Marc-Olivier. I'm going to start with you, Era, as you had quite a battle up front to take that final podium position from Maxime Beaulieu. Walk us through the race. I know, Era, you like to think sometimes out of the box with strategies, and now we had 3 safety cars. Was there a moment during that period of time where you got a little bit worried or got a little bit in your head? Or walk us through your thought process during your race.
Yeah, I was worried when the guys stopped on that second safety car. I told Mark that it was the right call to stop, and we didn't stop. I was worried because I knew that medium tires could make to the end, and track position after another safety car with people stopping, the track position will be very important. So, but it was also very hard to climb the field because of game was a little laggy today for everybody, and I didn't have pace on the hard tires. I could not stay with Cody and Cole. But on the medium tires, the car was like a rocket. My pace was very, very strong. I will need another lap or maybe 2 to get overtake Cole. Cody was far ahead, so nothing I could do. I lost a lot of time climbing the field. But we did it. We did it. Champions. That's the important thing.
Yeah, most definitely. We saw that pace coming towards Kyle. I honestly think just one more lap or one more DRS sector, and you had him at that point from our point of view, definitely.
Yeah, maybe on that straight, on the final straight, but I think Kyle maybe was taking it easy. So I don't know. We will never know. But my pace on medium tires were very, very strong. I could challenge Cole and Cody, but our tires were so weird. It was so slippery for me, especially on the sector 1. I could not stay with Cole. I drained all my battery trying to stay with Cole, and I could not. Thank God there was a safety car because I could regen my battery, get back to the pack, because it was so painful on the hard tires. I told Mark all the way, Mark, I just can't race with these tires. It's so bad, so bad. On the sector 1, you almost make a drift on that fast corners on the hard tires. But that's it.
Definitely. I'm gonna switch over to you, Marc-Olivier Bastin. You had a 5-second penalty for cutting that chicane. Can you walk us through what triggered that that event there? We caught a glimpse of it. Was it just unfortunate under braking circumstances, or was there an incident? What happened there?
Almost an incident. The McLaren in front of me braked so early, so I had to avoid it and in the meantime, I cut the chicane. I tried to rejoin safely. I even lost the position, and they still give me a 5 seconds. So we'll see about that. But yeah, overall the race, I was super happy to win the championship. When Hudson took the drive-through, I was like celebrating in my head, and I didn't start the car, so I lost about 9 position at the start. I don't know, just because Hudson took a drive-through in front of me, and after that, it was really hard to overtake. I had honestly for one overtake, it was like 70% of ERS every time.
Yeah, most definitely had a lot of pace. You had a lot of pace in your drive, but yeah, maybe some concentration or situations. Obviously, I think Hudson Poole, his situation with his wheel caught us all off guard, and maybe not the ending we've expected, but at the end, you know, you guys are still crowned as division championships. Ariel, do you want to ask your questions for our drivers here?
No, I have nothing to say but to say bravo to every one of you. You've done a great job. I haven't looked at all the races, but from what I saw, you were outstanding and you deserve the championship. Always in the fight, always fighting for wins. Marc-Olivier Bastille, you even won one time, Era as well. So both of you can be really proud of you, and Buffalo as well. You've done the great calls, and good job to you guys.
Yeah, I would like to thank you, Mark. You are one of the best teammates I ever had. We worked so well together. I'm looking forward for us to make a team again in another league or on ZRL. I don't know. I need to thank you a lot, Mark.
Yeah, thank you, Era. Also, all the feelings are shared. Also, Buffalo, thank you for this season. Again, thank you for the TV cast also. And all the time you took for us with Alfa Romeo. So to the best TP in the game, thank you.
Yeah, Buffalo also, thank you. Thank you for believing in us.
Yeah, 100%. You guys made my job real easy. So appreciate you guys. Hell of a season, and we'll run it back next season. We'll see if we can make it 2 in a row.
Is it too early to ask who's your keeper, Buffalo?
Yeah, so I don't know. We were just talking about the draft actually in the team principal chat. I don't know if keeper system is going to be the same as it was. It's all up in the air, so it's definitely too early to tell.
Do we have an official date? I was given a date, but I don't know if it has been officialized yet.
Yeah. Duncan said it would be 12 March, and the season opener is 26th of March.
There you go. So March 12th. So that is Sunday in 2 weeks. So we're gonna have 2 weeks of a break. March 12th is gonna be the draft, and that is usually broadcasted on our YouTube channel in ZRL. And so we'll find out if these amazing Alfa Romeo drivers will be paired up together again in Division 1, or will they become rivals, and we will be describing maybe a new rivalry brewing between these two. That'll be something we'll have to watch out for next season. Buffalo, Era, Marc-Olivier, congratulations, félicitations once again, and we will see you guys next season.
Thank you.
Thanks, man. Great job, Ranger. See ya.
Thank you. See you next season.
So, my good old friend Arrow, just to close off our final moments in the season finale, I'll give you the final word here. Actually, I'm gonna ask you a completely different question. How did you enjoy your experience as a broadcaster watching Division 1 this time?
Well, it was really hard for me because I'm French, so you know all the cliches about French people being bad in English are true, a lot true. So to me, it's really hard to understand when guys are speaking really fast, and you're one of the best podcasters I've ever heard, and you're speaking really fast. It was pretty hard for me to understand everything you were saying. I tried to catch up the best I could to be entertaining, but of course it's hard. The only battles I thought and I wanted to talk about, you were talking about fighting at the front, so I just tried to talk when you weren't, but really hard for me. I think I'm gonna stick to commentating D3. It's better for me.
Well,
I'm good with it.
you have plenty of opportunities to grow as a broadcaster. I know you're one of our newer casters across our divisions and in ZRL. I want to thank you for replacing Buffalo Trace last minute on a tall order for a season finale as it is. I want to congratulate you. You did a great job on that. To all our viewers, do not forget to drop your like on our channel, a subscribe if you haven't done so already. Our links are in the comments and our description of our YouTube channel if you want to join the league as well. We're on Discord, but we also allow crossplay across all boards. Next season, we're starting fresh, a new draft, a new season, a new divisions. It's going to be absolutely spectacular and exciting once again. For the final time for this season 6, it was John Ranger signing out. Good night, everybody.